Oh man, so this is an emergency video. Fantom down almost 14% today, sitting at 83 cents. What a big red candlestick here for Fantom today. I'm going to explain what is going on. If you've been keeping up with the videos, you know there's a variety of different FUD, and I'm going to add one more piece onto this today, which is that a Fantom whale of the name Roosh is said to be getting liquidated as we speak, and this could be shaking the chain. We're going to cover off what this means. Am I panic selling? I know a lot of people in the community are really worried. From the days that I've started covering Fantom, this is the day I've noticed the peak FUD here on Fantom. So we've got a lot to cover off. I'm here to give you guys an update, regardless of the time that it is here in the UK, to make sure you guys know what is going on. So let's firstly look at the charts. And this is what's obviously getting people nervous. And you can see the price is sitting here at 83 cents. Now, let's try to compartmentalize what is going on. Because the first thing that FUDsters want to do is they want to confuse you with lots of negative narratives. And what I want to do is I want to know what are the actual negative narratives, so that way we're not in denial. We're not just moon boys who say everything is positive for a coin. We can understand where the weaknesses are. But two, we want to understand, what things are being over FUDded, because then we want to know when to buy the dip. So let's do that first. And the first thing we'd say is we need to understand where the wider market is, okay? Bitcoin sitting at 38,500. So it's not like the market is green today. The market is down today. And a quick look down at many other coins, and you can see Ethereum is down 4%. You can see that ADA down 4%. These are much bigger market cap projects, 10x size projects, 20x size projects here, okay? The Atom down 6%. You've got Solana down 4%. Then you've got the smaller cap projects, which are a bit more comparable to Fantom. Algorand down 10%. ApeCoin, a smaller project, down 15% after its run. Cadena, a smaller project, down 10%. Okay, 8% down on Coty, again, a smaller project. Matic.link, 7% on Matic. Big project, but still down 7%. Dot down 5%. Chainlink down 5%. So we know the market is down. That's the point I wanted to make there. So it's not like the market was green. And you guys know, I've mentioned our technical price target was always telling us about 90 cents. We've just come and hit our price target. But we've got a little bit more froth today, right? That's obvious. We can't deny that. We're down 13%, right? There's a couple more percentage point moves here, negative on Fantom, and I can feel it in the air, and I know what's going on. And the first thing was, if you haven't watched my video, if you haven't been following all the videos which I've been posting, make sure you go watch at least the last 3 or 4, because it's been a crazy 48 hours here for Fantom, and it's important you know what's going on, otherwise you're going to get left behind. And the first thing was Andre Cronje coming out and giving an update, right? So that obviously has an impact. Make sure you go watch what that video says and what was revealed in that video. The other thing, which should have been a positive, was the burning mechanism, which we announced for Fantom. Again, go watch that video, because Fantom, similar to EIP 1559, is actually burning 30% of transaction fees. So that should have been a positive catalyst. But then what we had this morning is what I shared with you guys, which is that Deus Finance, one of the popular protocols on Fantom, I know a lot of people use it. I personally don't use it. I stay away from many of these platforms, was exploited for a 13.4 million hack on Fantom. Okay, and naturally, the way the community works is they start to then associate this with Fantom, and it just doesn't make any sense, right? If the protocol that was hacked here was arguably not even Deus. You need to go watch my video from earlier on. I posted it a couple of hours ago. The exploit actually happened on the data oracle side of things. Remember, a data oracle sends feeds, including price data, across to smart contracts. Think of something like Chainlink, which is the best one out there. I don't think Deus were using Chainlink. I want to know which one they were using. I've had a few names being popped out, but I'd like to hear it from the Deus Finance team as to which data oracle they were using and what the exploit was. But it was a more complicated exploit than people think. Either way, it's not to do with Fantom. You can put some blame on Deus, because they should be checking all their third-party plugins correctly, particularly with whoever their data oracle provider is, but the blame initially lies with data oracle provider and then Deus. So that was that exploit. And then the other worrying thing from a Deus perspective, if you got your money sat in DAI or Deus, and they're down heavily over the last 24 hours as well, is that this is the second time that it's happened. It's not the first time. They were hacked just under 2 months ago for $3 million. So they had the warning, and the writing was on the wall for this to happen again. So I cover that all off in that video. So that's the thing that's kind of bothering the markets a little bit. So there's a bunch of FUD around this. But then there's another thread which came out just over 5 or 6 hours ago by Alex and Alex Omega. Okay, this guy on Twitter, shout out to him for sharing this. this guy is serious, right? He's the one who initially debunked the Rekt HQ article. Do you remember Rekt HQ when they tried to do a hit piece on Fantom? He went and wrecked that by debunking it. And he's posted this. He goes, imagine this. You're filthy rich. You deposit 59 million Fantom as collateral and borrow on Scream. He's referring to a whale wallet named as Roosh. The person's called Roosh, and they've got 59 million Fantom as collateral, and he's borrowing money on Scream. But the market, as we know, the wider market, the S&P is having its worst month since COVID, since March 2020. That's 2 years. And the market is dumping, right? Scream has a hell factor of 1.01. That's not going to be good for this guy's 59 million in collateral. And this is why I'm so against leverage, guys. I'm so against leverage. I'm so against crazy degen plays for portfolio sizes of this size, 59 million Fantom. What a degen. Absolutely ridiculous. Market dumps, hell factor of 1.01. This is not good for the wider ecosystem. This is not good for Fantom. You have to admit it. If 59 million was to be liquidated, it's not going to end very well, right? You know, the liquidity is not there in the market. It's going to affect the price. But so far, the price has arguably been holding up pretty well. And we're going to come on to that in a second. But what I want to cover off first is this. So this person here, Roosh, was then sent 2 million by Deus DAO. So the DAO sends him 2 million, and you can track that transaction as well on Fantom Scan. They send him 2 million in USDC. Okay, you can see that right here. 2 million in USDC. And the reason for that, if we head on over to Laffer's post, this is Laffer, he's the head over at Deus DAO, and he says, when we use the money from our team wallets to pay back investors that got liquidated, no one said nothing, but giving Roosh a loan from the team or private funds to make sure the chain doesn't go to zero is an issue. So he's getting a bunch of stick for why did you send Roosh 2 million? He sent 2 million to kind of curb the bleeding, but really it's not making a difference, right? He's still getting liquidated. You can head on over to Roosh's wallet on DBank and you can monitor it, right? You can see he's currently sitting at $30 million. And he's slowly but surely getting liquidated. And the only positive really to come from this is, one, the price is holding up pretty well for what's going on, guys. Remember, 88 cents is the price point we were going to get from the wider market anyway. The market was falling heavily on small altcoins anyway today. So let's try to compartmentalize this because it's important. Because if this stuff didn't happen today, Fantom would have had 8% down, 9% down, 10% down day anyway. The extra 3-4% on top is all the combined hacking, people not understanding, oh, that was Deus, that was the Oracle play, or in this case with the liquidations. It's holding up pretty well so far, but it's something we need to monitor. This is changing hour by hour. I'm getting new news every single hour, but for now, we can see that in Scream, it's 10 million. He's got 5.3 in Solidly, and DAI, which is on Deus, he's got 14 million. So this is something you'll have to monitor. And obviously, for me, the key is going to be, when is that sentiment going to return? And once this liquidation gets done and he's out of it, you know that the buy the dip is going to come in. I mean, look at the RSI here on the hourly, super oversold territory. Let's look at it on the daily, super oversold territory. Let's look at it on the weekly. And again, we're heading towards oversold territory here on the weekly as well. So however you want to look at it, we're due here to start getting the dip bought. And I think once this liquidation kind of comes to an end, you'll see people starting to come in and say, hang on a second, 83 cents. This is ludicrous. Now, the interesting thing is, and probably the scary thing for those of you without conviction, is if Bitcoin now decides over the next kind of week or so, or do we want to head towards 35? Do we want to head towards 33? Where does that lead Fantom to go? Because obviously it's going to start falling lower and lower. And you know the thing with FUD. FUD is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If the more people work themselves up and get FUDded out, they will sell their coins, they will panic sell. I know people in the community are panic selling, those that didn't have conviction. And I made it very clear to you guys when we were sat at 122, when we were sat at 133, these kind of levels, I made clear in the video. I said, guys, if you're going to panic sell at 90 cents, do yourself a favor and panic sell now. Did I not say that? And I may have got stick for it, for saying that, because I shouldn't be telling, an ecosystem to sell, right? But no, I will. Because the reality is, if you don't have the conviction, you need to sell, because you're just going to panic sell now at 83. What's the point? Sell when it was up here at 168, right? You had no conviction, to just get out. Until you have conviction, then hold things through these kind of levels, because then you're going to have the conviction to buy the dip. And for me, fear and greed index continues to be at peak. And what do I always talk about? I always talk about this graph. We want to be buying in these red territories. And trust me, this is one of the peak fear moments, not just in the equity market, not just in crypto, but even Fantom specifically is getting to one of those peak FUD stages where there's so many news pieces, so many hit stories coming out. Some of them have validity. I'm not saying that, right? You can see clearly this guy's getting liquidated. Clearly it's going to affect, and you're going to see negative candlesticks. But that's no different to Tesla falling the other day. Tesla started falling the other day because Elon Musk was selling Tesla shares. Does that mean Tesla's a bad company now? No, we know he was selling Tesla shares to go buy Twitter. Right? We know this guy's getting liquidated because he's a degen. He's a degen with $53 million in crazy projects. So good for him, right? He's going to get liquidated. That's how it works. But does that mean that's where the price is going to go? Does that suddenly mean Fantom is not a good blockchain? Does it mean the technology is not there? Does it mean they don't have some best-in-class technology with great protocols? Of course it does, right? If people are going to misuse ecosystems and put $53 million in leverage over collateralized positions during a global market turndown when we're heading towards a recession. We've had a first quarter of negative GDP print at minus 1.4%. I mean, come on, you think you'd be smarter than that with that much money, right? But no, degens will be degens. So we need to compartmentalize that. We need to understand what's going on, have a rational mind, build out your positions. Another point I want to address off is a lot of you guys in the Discord servers, you're really getting yourself fudded out. And I can tell who it is, because the people that are really getting emotional right now are the ones who've not been following the non-financial advice. And the non-financial advice is you should not be having so much of your net worth tied up in a project like Fantom. I always say this. I love covering up Fantom. I'll continue to cover a Fantom, but it's a small market cap project. Your Fantom position should be nowhere near your Bitcoin position or your Ethereum position or your Solana or your ADA or your Atom position, right? These are bigger projects. So you need to keep that in mind, keep a healthy portfolio. So even if Fantom did die overnight, you keep going, you get up, you find the next protocol, you find the next project, right? Because this is about investing in crypto sustainably for the long run. This is not about Fantom hit and miss. If that's the kind of game you want to play, you can play that with many other meme coins, right? You could have aped it on ApeCoin, right? If that's what you want to play, this is not the channel for that. This is about sustainable investing. And if you appreciate my blend between technicals and fundamentals, make sure you smash up that like button, guys. As always, giving you an emergency update here on a Friday night, because when the news broke, I had to give you this update on what is going on with this whale wallet. Because I know a lot of you are getting fudded out. A lot of you are a little bit nervous, apprehensive about it. So there's the update. As and when I'll get more updates, either I'm going to tweet about it or it'll be in the Discord. If I have time, I'll get on a video as well. Hope you guys appreciate the update. Smash the like and subscribe. If you haven't watched my video from earlier on the Deus hacking, make sure you go watch that as well. I'll link it up here. And also go and watch the video from yesterday where I react to what Andre Cronje said about Fantom and Solidly. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in.